Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to continue with our stuff about Vatsim, and we're going to be exploring trying to land at a towered airport. Now keep in mind we're working with VFR conditions here today, so everything is pretty much the way you're going to be doing it in the real world. We're currently sitting here nice and high and dry. This is Plymouth Municipal Airport. This is basically in northeast Massachusetts. It's pretty much right on the coast. And what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be flying into Boston. So let me go ahead and grab our little detailed map here real fast so you can kind of see what's going on. You can see I've already got my chart ready to go for that part a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and pop over here so you can see. Perfect. So basically what we have to do here is notice that, like I said, we're sitting way down here, down in Plymouth. It's about a 15-minute flight for us. It's not bad at all. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to take off in VFR, and then when we get close, we're going to ask them for permission to land. Now in Vatsim, you got to have the Vatsimisms a little bit here. So even though they're going to give us clearance to land, they'll probably give us a squawk number. What they're also probably going to do is they're probably going to give us guidance once we get down on the ground. So it should make for a fairly interesting video as far as this process goes. Now remember, because there's nobody on top of us right now, we only have to deal with the tower controller. Remember, the tower controller basically owns everything 10 miles around what you have around the actual airport. You consider the class Delta, if you want to think about it another way. Normally, there'd be an approach controller that would own a bigger circle here, but we don't have to worry about them too much. We just got to deal with the tower, which, like I said, it's not going to be too difficult for us today. So let's go ahead and now pop that up there and get that out of the way. We'll go ahead and grab our vPly content here. There it is. Looks pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and connect to the server. So I'm going to set a red 64 as my little type. A cell cal code, we are B36. We're a regular old Beech 36 of Bonanza here. You can see there's tons of different choices here. Obviously, we're the G36 version, so you can come in here and type in G36, and it'll give it to you. So we're Beechcraft Bonanza G36, BE36 is our thing. We don't have a cell cal code. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to bop the select button. We're now going to be joining in. In a couple moments, what you're going to see is Boston Tower will be populated up here. If for some reason Boston Tower doesn't get populated right away, that's not really that big of a deal for us. And the reason why is if I come up here and actually take a look at the chart, you can actually get the frequency you need. So I can see the east tower is going to be 132.225 and the west tower is 128.8. We don't know which one of these two. Oh, there it is. 128.8 is going to be the tower that we're going to be using today. So that actually works great. So now what we have to do is worry about flying the darn plane, which is not too difficult here. So what I'm going to do today, which is a little different, is I'm actually going to file a VFR flight plan. And the reason I'm going to do that is I want to make it a little bit easier for the controllers to kind of know where I am and where I'm coming from. So we are KPYM. Our destination is KBOS. Alternate airport, we'll say Westover just in case. Departure time, let's see, it is currently 2:06, which is 14:06. 14:06 plus 4 would be 18:06. Let's call it 18:10. Time en route, it's going to take us 20 minutes, not even. Full fuel available, about 4 hours. Cruise speed, we're going to go at $1.80. Cruise altitude, because of the clouds today, there's scattered clouds at 4,500 feet. We have to stay 500 feet below them, so we're stuck. And we're heading mostly east here, so it's got to be an odd altitude, which is going to leave us with 3,500. We don't really have a chance. Are there any options to do that? Our route, it's going to be direct, so normally we should come in here and type in direct if you want, or DCT. They usually do a really good job. Equipment suffix, this is basically what do we have? We're standard equipment, so I just go boop and put an S there, and they know exactly what we have. Everything else is all set. We're obviously going to be visual flight rules. You can even say daytime VFR if you want. VFR works perfectly fine for this case. So Plymouth, Boston, Westovers are back up. It's going to take us 20 minutes to get there. Of course, I'll fast forward to make things easier for you folks. Cruise altitude 3,500, and of course, we're going to have to deal with Boston Tower. When we get within about 21 miles-ish, we'll go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the file flight button. So now we have had it filed. So now it is in their computers, and they know in about 20 minutes I'm going to suddenly show up with this aircraft, which is pretty straightforward. Go ahead and pull that out of the way since we're pretty good today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and figure out what we got to do here as far as getting around the ground. My source for this, usually I like to use AirNav. Works pretty well for this kind of a thing. Go up to the top right corner, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the diagram. There's not much to this diagram. Basically, we started up here in the north corner. The winds today are basically coming out of the north, so we're going to kind of take a right there and kind of make our way down. We kind of flip ourselves around real quick here. Whoopsie doodles. All right, look at that. Thanks, man. Thanks for turning my airplane around. So we can take a look. We have 115 right there. Like I said, the wind is coming mostly out of the north today. And I'm looking at the stock right now. Kind of playing this game. This is the same game we play in the real world, by the way. And it's actually favoring this runway off to my left here, which is making our lives a lot easier. So we're just going to have to use that one for takeoff today. Keep it nice and simple. All right. So as always, we have to call up CTAF to let everybody know where we're coming and where we're going. So I'm going to go to 122.80. It's the same no matter what airport you're at, which is a good thing and a bad thing in my opinion. Boop, pop that over. Now we're going to go through in Boston Tower. It's going to be 128. 1.800. We're just going to dial that in real fast. Now we have it ready to rock, and we're also ready to go ahead and communicate. And if I need to check that too, for those of you who kind of have it, you can see that it's got this little blue text on it to make sure that I'm in the right spot. So it says that I've got it all set. I'm pretty much ready to go in that regard. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to announce kind of our intentions here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, make things a little bit simpler for me. And again, like you can see, we're in that north kind of spot up at the tippy top, and we're just going to be taking that left and a right. Kill the parking brake, get rolling. This is a great airplane for this because it's so much more powerful than the little tiny Cessnas. But obviously, you know, that comes with its own responsibility, so to speak. Like I said, a cruise altitude is going to be 3,500. And since it's VFR, we're not going to worry too much unless the controller appears above our heads. In which case, if they do, we just have to say, hey, we'd like to pick up our flight plan or something along those lines. So let's go come sneak over here nice and gently. I'm looking behind me. Everything looks pretty good today. Like I said, this should be a pretty easy flight. I'm not worried about it too much. Boston's going to be no fun because Boston's a huge airport for something this tiny, but it doesn't mean that we can't make the best of, you know, pretty much everything. Go ahead and look to my right here before I go cut across traffic. No, I don't see anything I need to worry about. Again, you never know when traffic's going to crop up. Somebody could spawn in at any second. In the real world, that usually doesn't happen, but you never know. Because, you know, you can see them. So in the real world, of course, people forget to do things like turn on their transponder, something we have not done yet. I'm going to go tap the brakes here. I'm going to line myself up right here before we get into the runway. Give myself a couple RPM. Let's go ahead and make sure our transponder's working. We're just going to set it to altitude mode. Notice that turn on automatically. Our code is 1200. Again, this is United States, so we're going to go ahead and do that as a VFR. So we have our dandy little runway here. We're just going to very cautiously sneak on. I'm just going to back up just a little bit. Whoop, go CDI mode, set it to GPS. Looks delightful. Kill the parking brake, and we're just going to gently sneak on here. Again, I'm just checking the announce. I'll go ahead and let everybody know what we're doing as soon as we get down onto the runway. Then we'll contact Boston Tower. Like I said, we'll get within 20 nautical miles or so. Again, they normally get about 10, and you'd have to talk to approach controllers, but I'm not going to worry about that too much today. All right, here we go. Runway 24. Plymouth traffic, Beach Red 64 is taking off runway 24 Plymouth. And now they know we're going. I gotta love this plane. It just goes. I have no idea what that was. I was about ready to stand on the brakes and abort there for a second. I'm blaming that on a sim update number 5 there. All right, a little bit of a crosswind, but nothing too bad. We're airborne. Give us a few moments. We don't want to touch landing here until we get completely clear of the end of the runway in a little tiny plane like this. And I'm out of runway. Gear up. We're going to wait until we get to about 700 feet, and then we're just going to kind of do a quick little announcement. Go ahead and reduce our RPM, of course, to our typical 2,500. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and make our way to the north. Plymouth traffic, Red 64 is departing to the north. Plymouth. So now they kind of know what we're doing. They know what we're up to. We're just kind of sneaking out. All the aircraft's all cleaned up and ready to rock. Only thing I really got to be panicking about here is talking to Big Scary Boston, who's got a bunch of airliners, I'm sure, that's all getting ready to land. You know how these things usually go. Zoom out just a touch. Like I said, we don't have to talk to them until we're about 20 miles away. We want to give them plenty of warning that we're coming. Taking a look at those clouds off in the distance, they're a little bit worse than we had anticipated, which is making me not feel terribly confident. But again, we'll see what happens as we kind of cruise on a distance here. Bring us to the right just a little bit. And we're basically going to climb up, and they're going to give us all sorts of crazy instructions. Like I said, we never know what you're going to get, but in general, the winds today are kind of favoring the northwest runway more than anything, so that's kind of what I'm going to expect. But again, you could end up with anything as far as a runway goes, so we'll have to see what actually happens when we get there. Good time to go ahead and flip on all of our functionality here. I'm going to go flip that one on. Flip this one on, flip this one, and flip that one on. And now we're going to climb at the current speed that we're climbing at, which is great. We're going to go intercept that handy-dandy line. Don't worry about the CDI, by the way. It looks like it's crazy out of whack. It is actually not crazy out of whack. So don't panic on that one too much. And the aircraft is basically taking itself backwards now. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is something new from the sim update I've discovered. It is kind of irritating, not going to lie. Not going to lie. Just going to press direct 2. And I'm going to worry about that after we get all nice and acquired on our little line here. Swing back to the left. And we'll go ahead and make it a steep turn. Got to practice those every once in a while. I wouldn't recommend practicing in an aircraft this expensive, but hey, you do what you want to do with your airplane. All right, that's looking a little better. We'll go ahead and give ourselves a couple blasts of the happy trim there. And we're just going to make sure nav mode is turned off. And we're going to go ahead and do flight level change. We'll turn the autopilot back on and leave it just on roll mode until we've corrected this weirdness. I wonder if this has something to do with the GTN 750. We're going to do K, Kilo, Bravo. And we're going to go down to Oscar. And we're going to go pick Sierra. Enter, enter. And now we're back in business. Go to nav mode. And we can see we're about 26 nautical miles away. So we're going to have to call them pretty much right away. So we're going to flip over to Boston Tower, which is a 128.8. Just like that. And we're just going to listen. No, nothing yet. Like I said, we'll contact them when we get about 21 nautical miles out. Quick adjustment to the RPM. Don't be surprised if they give us like some crazy thing like close to VFR traffic or something like that. That happens. All right, back our power out to about 25 inches. Go ahead and I'll play with the mixture a teeny tiny bit. Like I said, we'll give them a call right when we hit about 21 nautical miles. That's, like I said, just 1 nautical mile out. And again, in the real world, remember, it's 30 miles wide is how large their Bravo airspace is, that where you have to have, the proper transponders and everything. And it's, shaped like a giant wedding cake sort of a thing. So, like I said, I'll be very curious what they're actually going to give us here. Double check to make sure you're on the correct frequency, 128.8. Let's go ahead and check it. We can see 128.8 is our top number here, which means we're good to go. We also can always tap it real fast if we want to ask like a quick question. Yeah, it's South Tower, so that's us. That's us. All right, let's pop back over. So again, it's going to be the standard set of instructions. You want to say who you're talking to, who I am, where I am, and what I want kind of a thing. All right, 21.8. Yeah, this gets real scary. So what I would do when you're first learning this is just say the exact thing you're going to say to yourself like 6 times. And then when you push the button, you goof it up anyway. But like I said, it's part of the fun, so don't stress about it too much. And there's this really nasty cloud right here, which we're going to pretend it doesn't exist because we're going to go over the top of it anyway. All right, 21, let's give it a call. Boston Tower, Red 64.
Red 64, Boston Tower.
Boston Tower, Red 64 is 20 miles to the south of you. Request full stop with information, Charlie. So what we did is give him a courtesy call. What he's doing now is just trying to find us. Now, the Charlie, I did make...
Red 64, Boston Tower, good afternoon. Squawk 1305, ATIS Alpha is current at Boston.
We'll receive ATIS 1305, Red 64. So what he's doing now is he's basically trying to identify us. So whatever reason, he did not show up on my chart as having an ATIS. So shame on me for that one. There you go, 1305.
Boston Tower, Delta 4142, heavy information, Alpha, ready to taxi 22 left. Red 64, your radar contact, 17 miles south of the Boston VOR, say altitude.
Altitude is 3,500 for Red 64.
Red 64, thank you. Make straight in, report the airport in sight. Clearing the Boston Class Bravo airspace, maintain VFR below 2,000.
Maintain VFR at or below 2,000. We'll report airport in sight, Red 64.
Delta 4142, runway 22 left. Taxi via Kilo, Bravo, November. Cross runway 15 right on November. Hold short, runway 15 left.
So the reason they gave us 2,000 feet here is because, remember that...
Via Kilo, Bravo, November, cross 15 left, correction 15 right, and hold short 15 left, Delta 4142 heavy.
So basically what he's telling us is he's giving us clearance into his airspace, which is why we had to ask him before we hit 20 miles. The second thing, and now this is really important, is he told us to go 2,000 or less because he knows his clouds are relatively low, or he's trying to keep us inside of his airspace. So what we do now is we basically got to fly towards the airport until he gives us runway in sight, or until we see runway in sight. Once the runway is in sight, what they'll do is they'll give us clearance to land normally. So again, relatively straightforward, nothing too stressful so far, thankfully. So like I said, for runway in sight, runway's in sight technically, but remember there's 3 other airplanes that we're dealing with at this time. So if I actually pull up the Vatsim map real quick, if you want to kind of take a peek here, Vatsim map, so you can kind of see what everything looks like. Of course, the thing had crashed earlier today, so I'd be very curious if this works again. Nope, it's broken. So now we are 100% completely on our own here as far as having a map that allows us to see what's going on. The nice thing is this will actually show you other traffic that's visible. Like if I zoom out a little bit, you see how you've got all these airplanes at Boston right now. So we're basically going to have to kind of put up with those when we get a little bit closer. Yeah, get about 550 feet per minute is fine. Yeah, there's our airport. Like I said, we'll pretend the airport isn't in sight until we get a little bit closer. Like I said, we're about 12 nautical miles out, which is more than close enough to go ahead and call it. Boston Tower, Red 64 has the airport in sight.
Red 64 flies direct to the control tower, enter right downwind, runway 22 right, Boston altimeter 3012.
Fly directly to the control tower and enter into a right downwind for 30 right, sorry.
22 right for Red 64.
22 right for Red 64, thanks. That's the problem, is you should write things like that. Okay, so this is tricky. So he's made things interesting for us. So basically what we're going to have to do is head towards the control tower, cross over it, and then we're going to enter into a 22 right downwind. And it's going to be a right traffic pattern. So it's going to be very exciting for us. So let's go ahead and get up a sky vector real quick so we can visualize what exactly he's asked.
Tower stuff was 2425, Mike Steph.
Loud clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
So basically what he's going to do is he's going to have us cross the tower, which is going to be right in the middle of everything. And then we're going to be aiming for 22 right. So if I open this up real quick, 22 right's this guy. His tower is located here. So we're basically going to go like this, cross him, and then we're going to right down onto the ground, which, like I said, that's kind of interesting. So we'll make the best of it like we always do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and flip on the heading hold here, and I'm actually going to come slightly to the left. Like he said, we have to cross the tower here. Very interesting set of instructions, but not unusual when you're dealing with major airports like this. One thing we do want to do, though, is we're going to get to our proper traffic pattern altitude, so we're going to go confirm that. Let's see, the local altitude is going to be, we just need to check it, 16 feet. So that's going to give us a traffic pattern altitude of about 1,100 feet. Yep, you can see we are pointing directly at the tower now. Perfect. Okay. Don't forget to compensate for things like wind and all that other stuff. But we do need to start coming down. Let's go ahead and confirm a couple things real fast while we're on our way down here. Oops, sorry.
Mr. Tower, good afternoon. Yeah, this is Delta 569 at Dave Alpha 17. Could you give me your voice check, please?
Delta 565, readable but scratchy. I'd put it around 4x3, 3x3.
Delta 565, thank you, sir. We'll work on that.
All right, so I see that we're drifting slightly to the right. That's just going to be our handy-dandy little crosswind action, so I'm going to come this way just a little bit. One thing I want to do real fast is we're coming down to land here.
Boston Tower, FedEx 5697 Heavy, ILS 22 left.
FedEx 5697 Heavy, Boston Tower, good afternoon, continue.
We'll continue.
So basically, somebody's going to be on a parallel runway when we actually go ahead and decide to come crossing over the top of this. So it's going to make things not more exciting for us, but just one of those, like, don't be surprised if he gives us something other than a clearance, or he makes us go around, or he makes us hold, or something like that. But like I said, I'm not going to worry about it too much here. Yeah, there you see, the handy-dandy tower. Oh my, look at this runway. Oh, check this out. Yeah, this is one of the cool parts of flying like this here.
Delta 4142 Heavy, cross runway 15 left November, hold short, runway 22 right. Cross 15 left November, hold short 22 right, Delta 4142 Heavy.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the diagram. Just again, keep your head on straight here. Don't get too stressed out. It's not as bad as it looks. So this one is the one we're actually going for. So if I look, this is 15, 22 right. The one we're actually going for is this one right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit this guy and enter into a right downwind. And he's probably going to call our base or something along that, or he'll let us clear. It completely depends kind of how he's feeling. So what we'll do, though, is we'll start slowing down. There we go. start coming down to about 120. We don't need to be ripping around the traffic pattern that fast. Look at how cool this is. There we go. We're going to hold at about 110 or so. We don't need to go too much slower than that. There we go. Yeah, I'm not going to call it a perfect traffic pattern across here, but... Oh, it would be amazing if we blocked this guy. I feel so bad. There we go. I like how he uses that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, now we're going to enter into our right downwind. So now it's time to actually fly the plane. Yep, you can see a really good look at that airliner coming in right now. So again, our altitude needs to be about 1,000 feet. Hold that nose up. Hold about 100 knots. Got a little bit of turbulence. Nothing scary.
FedEx 5697, traffic is a bonanza right downwind for the parallel, wind 150 runway 22 left, clear to land.
We'll watch out for the traffic. Runway 22 left, clear to land. FedEx 5697 Heavy.
Red 64 traffic, heavy Boeing 747, 1 to 12 miles out for the parallel runway. Wind 1507, runway 22 right, clear to land.
22 right, clear to land. Red 64, we'll keep an eye out for the traffic. So basically, they've given us clearance. Time to put the thing on the ground. Now, because we are so darn close to this airport, I'm actually going to tip my head up so I can see. Do not cross onto the parallel runway.
FedEx 5697 no longer observed. Delta 4142 heavy, continue holding short 22 right, traffic short final. Continue holding short 22 right, Delta 4142 heavy.
Nice. We blocked the big heavy airliner. Love it. He's going to use more fuel sitting there waiting for us than we've used this entire flight. All right, good thing to make sure you didn't make any silly mistakes here. Make sure your gear is down, make sure your flaps are down, make sure everything is ready to go, because it'd be really embarrassing in front of our cool airliner friends.
Wind 1507.
Boston Tower, would you prefer a left or right turn after landing?
Where are you parking?
General aviation ramp for Red 64.
Right.
Tally, thanks.
Delta 4142 heavy, cross runway 22 right, November, continue. Cross 22 right, November, continue, Delta 4142 heavy.
Boston Tower, this is Delta 565. How's my voice now, sir?
Much better, much improved. 4x5, 5x5.
See, we can't cross the runway.
Delta 565, thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Cheers. Red 64, welcome to Boston, straight ahead, runway 33 left, available for turnoff. Make a right turn, 33 left.
Right turn, 22 left, Red 64. So I wasn't sure if he was going to allow us to cross it because he was talking to that other guy. So hence my little indecision here. But what we're going to do is we're going to get off this runway fast because remember, we're holding up a big airliner right now. Get a little bit faster, a little bit faster. We're going to go ahead and take that first right turn. All right, so what he's going to do now is he's going to clear the guy behind me. Watch this.
Red 64, straight ahead on 33 left, all the way to the end. Left Lima, right Bravo. This frequency. Welcome to Boston.
All the way down here. Hold on. I'll say again for 64. Red.
Left Lima, right Bravo to signature.
Left Lima, right Bravo, Red 64. So in this case, he's given us our...
4142 heavy, wind 1507, runway 22 left, clear for takeoff. 22 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 4142 heavy.
Got everything going on at once here. Okay, so we are on tree left. We're cruising here. Lima's all the way there. It's going to be a right on Bravo, and that's going to take us right to signature, which is the name of the fixed-based operator here in Boston. Again, we're going to take us all the way to the end. Again, if you're unsure, always ask. You can literally see me doing this. But again, you don't get to practice these things. You kind of got to take them as they kind of come. Again, like you said, left Lima, right on Bravo, and it takes us right to signature. It looks like we have a little bit of traffic over here on the right, or the left, I should say, so we got to watch out for that as well. Now notice the tower controller owns the ground since there are no ground controllers here. And just like that, we are gone. Okay, so that's gotten us to basically where we need to go. I'm going to go ahead and hold the brake here. Hit the brake. Go ahead and check the terminal thing right here. So we are sitting right here on Lima. We're going to take a right onto Bravo, and that's going to put us right at the general aviation ramp. The general aviation ramp itself is this big structure that you can kind of see over here on my right. Just got to kind of whip over here very gently. Well, and we just got to find a parking spot at this point. Again, when you're flying, make egregious use of third person when you're trying to get around these mega airports so that you don't make yourself absolutely crazy. All right, we'll go sneak over. It looks like a pretty good spot right there. I'm liking that one. And now we are safe. We are in basically the little zone here. We're kind of in our own little area, if you want to think about it in another kind of way. Come swing over here to the left a little bit. Oh! That's right, because you can't hit controls when you press mouse things at the same time. So remember that. It's going to make you crazy. All right, looks pretty good.
Delta 4142, departures off the line for exchange approved. Have a good day and safe ride to DC National. All right, over to you. Thanks for the service. I'll see you later. Delta 4142 Heavy.
And that's it.
I'd love to watch that 747 land at National, by the way.
That's it. So we successfully got ourselves all the way back to the ground. And now we get to the ceremonial disconnect from VPilot here. Pop over here, disconnect, and we're out. Hopefully this video helps you with the confidence. Again, just repeat back what they say. If you make a mistake, feel free to ask for clarification. They're there for you. They're not robots. They're people as well. Enjoy.